Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to EJ's Auction and Consignment's Bidder's Corner. My name is Eric Hoyer, owner of EJ's Auction and Consignment, and this morning I have Terry Moust, our consignment specialist / appraiser. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Welcome to the show today. We're going to go over a few things with Terry about the value of items in your home, what to look for, what may hold value, what may not hold value, things like that. But Terry's been with us, gosh, you've got about 40 years in the business. Yep. You've been with us about 2 years now?
2 years full time, correct.
You like your job?
Absolutely. It's not a job, it's a career.
Well, I'm glad you say that. It is a career. It's a big career. Terry, I want to jump in first to something that when you go into a home, somebody's called you out to take a look at something. What are the three most, I guess, common items that people think hold value that don't hold value?
Glassware, Hummels.
The famous Hummels.
Famous Hummels.
10 years ago.
A lot of things that grandma collected that the younger generation who spends all their money on the newest iPhone and computer aren't collecting anymore.
All right. Well, let's start with some coins. Mm-hmm. Something we actually sell quite a bit. You bring them in quite often. What's the most valuable coin that you can recall us
The
you
one
bringing
I found in was, I was at a lady's house. She had a bunch of nice glassware and stuff, and then I mentioned coins to her. She disappeared into her bedroom, came out with the sock rolled up. It was in her dresser drawer. It had a $20 double gold eagle coin. She thought it was worth $300 to $400. We sold it for, I believe, right around $1,400.
Wow.
She was shocked and surprised.
Well,
that's laying in her dresser drawer for 20 years.
That's a happy customer.
She was happy.
Yeah. How about our firearms? Are you dealing with a lot of firearms?
I deal with a lot of firearms. A lot of people just don't know the pitfalls and the potential liability issues of selling firearms. They don't know the value. The auction system here is a great platform to sell those firearms for them, relieve them of any liability issues, people they don't know coming to their house. People that buy firearms from us are very knowledgeable. They know what firearms are worth, and they're willing to pay the correct value. We
have a pretty good buyer base here. We are an FFL dealer, so obviously we take care of the paperwork behind the scenes. Even though a lot of the private sales don't require an FFL, but in order to hand it off to somebody like us to sell them, you have to carry an FFL, which we do, which kind of nice. Take care of the stress off of the seller quite tremendously. Going back to coins, is there anything that a consignor needs to look for when they're interested in selling coins in particular?
Well, obviously, condition of the coin is of paramount importance. Also, the date, and probably more important, is the mint mark. If it's Philadelphia, it's the most common. Denver, San Francisco are right behind. But if you got a New Orleans minted coin, Carson City, especially in Morgan silver dollars, it can change a $30 coin into a $200 and $300 coin.
So scarcity means everything when it comes to coin
Absolutely.
Collecting and selling.
It's not just the age. There are newer coins that are worth a lot more value than an older coin just because of the scarcity and rarity.
I've heard the term misstrikes on coins. What exactly does that mean?
Well, that's a coin that came out of the U.S. Mint. There was a flaw in the dies that were struck with the coin. Sometimes they were double struck. Sometimes just the
double struck meaning
that they hit it twice with the hammer when they minted it.
Also, maybe the guy was getting ready to go on break, struck it, and then came back and struck it again because he forgot he struck it before he had a sandwich.
Correct. It's a machine. Machines do fail occasionally. Sometimes the plates are just off center a little bit. The coin gets stamped off center. So it just looks like a weird coin. They're not all that rare. They're pretty common, but they do have value.
All right. And mintage. What does mintage mean in the coin?
That's the number of coins that were produced by that particular mint in that year. Sometimes they're millions, sometimes they're several hundred thousands. Obviously, the ones that are minted in lower numbers are worth a lot more money because they're just a lot rarer, they're scarcer, and the collectors will step up and pay for the rare coins.
Yeah, and everybody's got coins laying around their house that in a jug or...
Correct. Almost everybody has coins in a dresser drawer. They don't know the value. A lot of them are just common coins. They're worth bullion value, but there are rare coins out there, and they need to be looked at by somebody, either them or us, to get the true value of them.
Sure. And again, back to firearms, as far as value of firearms, what are you finding in the dealings of firearms that we've had the past couple of years and values? Is there a certain genre of firearms? I know we have AR-15s, we have revolvers, we have...
Yeah, just the general buying people that we have here that attend our auctions are very knowledgeable on guns. They know what every gun is worth. They have a value of it before they come to the auction. I don't think any certain guns bring more than they're worth, although last week we had some great firearms that were probably full retail value at the auction. Ammunition is the same thing. Ammunition is hard to get a hold of sometimes, and ammunition does great here. There seems to be a movement towards the AR type rifles, the assault looking rifles. People just think they're cool.
Yeah, that, and I think too with the talk of firearm bans, every time it seems like a firearm ban gets mentioned, it's almost like the firearm industry is behind that talk because the prices of those, what they call an assault weapon, AR-15, seems to go up dramatically when they talk a lot about it.
Absolutely. Every time the administration in power opens their mouth, gun prices go up.
Average price of, what's an average price of a firearm?
They vary quite a bit. Anywhere from 300 to about 1,200 is kind of the average price on firearms. There are some that are worth substantially more money, and we've sold some very expensive firearms. And of course, rusted old wall hanger type weapons still can bring $100 to $200 just for decoration.
And here comes the big question. Everybody has this hanging on their wall, laying in their closets. Art. How valuable is art nowadays?
Art is a very strange creature to me. It is beauty is in the eye of the beholder, the owner. We find some great pieces in homes that people think have no value, and we do a little research, look up auction records, and sometimes they're $500 a piece, sometimes they're $5,000, sometimes they're $100,000. People don't always know what they have. A lot of it was purchased 30, 40 years ago, maybe at a gallery when that artist didn't have much value, he was new, and their prices have skyrocketed. And it's great to find those pieces sitting in somebody's garage or in their spare bedroom or under the bed sometimes, and they are out there.
Well, I know we get a tremendous amount of art come through the door here. Hundreds and thousands of pieces of art every year, literally thousands. It seems to me like a lot of that art that, just general art in your home, people, like our appraisal shows. We have appraisal shows here once a month where people are, it's Antiques on the Go show where you can bring your art in for us to take a look at it, and it seems like we get a tremendous amount of art that comes in that people think this is an original, and we come to find out it is just a print.
It happens all the time. That's where the experts that work for our company here are great to get together with them and look at those pieces. Are they original oils? Are they prints? Are they copies? And sometimes it's hard to tell. The new printing machines make prints that are so good they look like originals.
Yeah. We've had, that's the other thing too. Art is subjective. I don't get the whole art business in a whole, where we'll see art come through, original stuff that is absolutely perfect, stunning, great piece. It's worth $10, and then I'll see something that's got an artist name come in attached to it that just so happens to be a listed artist, which means he's got prior sales results in the auction world in the past, and it could be up hundreds of thousands of dollars for absolutely the ugliest art I've ever seen.
Absolutely. I tell people, I said, buy art you like, buy art you love, display it, and let your kids deal with when you're done.
Probably one of the most important things as far as art goes, if you have listed artists, listed artwork, is probably going to be the documentation with it, where it came from, any provenance. I know recently you were dealing with a particular estate out in Sun City, where provenance is everything with those pieces of art that are being sold, and you can attribute a lot of this art to this particular artist just because the client knew the artist.
Right. We were able to do some research, find out that this lady who passed away about 20 years ago knew all these artists. She hung out in Manhattan, Greenwich Village, knew all these people. She had pictures of her with these artists. So they were able to get that provenance just from those photographs.
Yeah, even though the art's not signed, it's
right.
more likely than not that those pieces came from that artist who may have just been in his studio, was painting and said, here, take this, and never signed it.
Absolutely.
Which happens all the time. I mean, it's very easy to happen.
I
So
tell people, any records you have, photographs, anything you can put that mystery together helps.
the moral of this story, folks, if you're looking at liquidating an estate, your grandmother's estate, maybe your estate, you have items you don't know the value of, you probably shouldn't have that garage sale first and then call in somebody like Terry or myself to look at your items. You need to have them looked at before you decide to sell them. That's what we do here at EJ's Auction and Consignment. We can actually come out, evaluate, maybe not so much put a value on those items, but at least make sure that you're not throwing a $6,000 Herman Miller chair into a dumpster like what happened last year.
That's happened.
But we'll at least be able to take a look at it and know if you've got some value there or not, and give you some recommendations. We don't typically charge for that consultation, although we love the business. That's why we want to come out and take a look at what you've got. Maybe we can represent your estate or not. But again, Terry, I want to tell you thank you for taking time out.
Thank you.
To visit with us.
You guys out there need any help, we're more than happy to come out and help you, give you a free evaluation, point you in the right direction. It's not always in our direction, but we'll get you headed the right direction.
Exactly. All right. Thanks again, folks, for tuning in today. Remember, it's EJ's Auction and Consignment. We're on the corner of 59th Avenue and Bell here in Glendale, Arizona. Live auctions every Friday or every Saturday. I'm trying to throw in an extra auction day. Previews are every Wednesday to Friday from 9 to 5, and then again Saturday morning 9 to 10. The first auction starts at 10, second's at 10:30, third is at 11 a.m. We have everything from pots and pans to Picassos. So tune in again here in a couple of weeks for the next EJ's Auction and Consignment's Bidders Corner. Other than that, we'll see you next Saturday at the live auction.